writer B. Wilson states, "The moralizing language around food encourages us to eat in ways that are both less pleasurable and also actually less healthy. We need to arrive at a space where eating certain foods is not a guilty pleasure, but instead is just plain pleasurable." Let me tell you a story. Early in my career, I worked as a dietitian in a level 3 trauma center. This hospital got the sickest, most mangled patients in their ICU, and I was the dietitian who looked after them. I saw a lot of bad stuff. But the cases that hit me the hardest were the people who were completely healthy one day, then suffered a catastrophic event like a car accident or a baseball bat to the head, truth, and were all of a sudden at the end of their lives. Many of these patients were younger than me, and sometimes I had to leave the unit and go back to my office to take a moment to collect myself. At the time, in my life outside the hospital, I spent a lot of time at the gym trying to burn off my dietary transgressions. I felt guilty about eating anything that didn't fit into my calorie allowance for the day and would cancel or decline plans to go for meals with people because I was afraid that I would overeat and gain weight. I felt immense pressure to look a certain way. Not because I was a dietitian, just because. I was miserable, physically exhausted from all the working out and emotionally exhausted from being so hypervigilant about everything I ate. One day, as I stood at the foot of a hospital bed working on yet another tragic case, something occurred to me. This patient was a normal person yesterday. They had a job, friends, and a life. Now they're never going to have those things again. So what am I doing? I thought. Are the few pounds I may or may not gain by enjoying my life worth all of what I'm giving up, socially, financially, emotionally? If I was on my deathbed, would I be thinking, thank goodness I'm thin? Or would I regret saying no to those margaritas with my good friends and passing up the once-a-year pumpkin pie that my mom makes just so I can maybe save myself 0.6 of a pound? I knew the answer. Life is short, and you need to grab it by the balls and swing it around every single day. Doing that means nourishing and caring for yourself physically and emotionally. It doesn't involve dieting and being miserable about food or shitty rules about burning fat and not eating gluten because it's toxic. It means rejecting diets and that game of tug-of-war with your body. It means setting yourself free and living in the present. That's worth everything. Which brings me to the book in your hands. I want you to find pleasure, community, happiness, and comfort in food. It is one of the ways we can enrich our lives. There's a social dimension to eating that anthropologists will tell you has existed since the beginning of time, and for good reason. Food brings us together. It's an opportunity to share, to gather, to bond. And when you're relaxed about eating, that dimension opens up to you. But we can only get there when we begin to let go of what society has told us about food and our bodies. In the chapters that follow, we're going to learn the truth about diet culture. I'll teach you why diets don't work and how they can actually damage your health instead of improve it. I'll help you re-examine your relationship with food, the whys behind what we eat, and once we find your whys, we're going to examine them, feel them, and look them straight in the eye. I firmly believe that this is a necessary exercise to complete before making any changes to your diet. If you don't know where your feelings about food and your body are coming from, how can you see if they're negatively impacting your life? And how can you change them for the better? That's another step in this process that we'll be taking. Together, we'll learn how to recognize true hunger from visual or emotional hunger and cravings. You'll map out feasible goals, whether that's finding a comfortable weight or eating more nutritious foods. We'll break down the basics of food and drinks, carbs, proteins, and fats, and how they nourish our bodies. Then, I'll outline how you can put everything together in what I call high-value eating. We'll talk about nutrition and our gut health and the lifestyle changes we can make to safeguard both. Along the way, I'll be busting myths and answering all your burning questions about food, diets, and